Today on Leelalicious, we're making Copycat Aussie bites. Aussie bites are a delicious little snack or treat that you can buy at Costco. They're in the shape of a mini muffin, and I find they're somewhere in between an oatmeal cookie and a superfood bar. They are great for breakfast, perfect to pack as a little lunch snack for school because they're nut-free, and I also like them with my afternoon coffee or tea. There are quite a few ingredients in this recipe, but they all come together very easily and quickly in the food processor. Although this recipe is quite flexible, I try to stay as close as possible to the ingredients listed on the packaging, except for a few swaps I made to make this recipe gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegan. First up, we need 1 3/4 cups of rolled oats. 1 cup of these gets turned into flour and the rest gets pulsed in with the rest of the ingredients. Next we have 1/4 cup of dried apricots. I find that dried dates or figs work just as well. Also 1/4 cup of raisins. I'm using golden raisins, but you can also use the brown black kind. And 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm using coconut sugar here. You can also use brown sugar or cane sugar. And then we have 1/4 cup of unsweetened shredded coconut. 1/4 cup of puffed amaranth. You can also use raw or cooked quinoa. Also 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds. Pumpkin seeds work really well too. Then 1/4 cup of flax meal and 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. The final dry ingredients are a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And for the liquid ingredients, we have 1/3 cup of melted coconut oil, 1/4 cup of maple syrup. You can also use honey or agave syrup, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. To start, let's turn 1 cup of the rolled oats into oat flour. Be sure to use certified gluten-free oats if you want this recipe to be gluten-free. Add the oats to the food processor. Close the lid and process the oat until they're turned into flour. Once the first cup of oats is turned into flour, we're going to add the rest of the dry ingredients. First up, the remaining 3/4 cups of rolled oats. Then the dried apricots, raisins, coconut sugar or other granulated sugar, unsweetened coconut, puffed amaranth, sunflower seeds, flax meal, chia seeds, cinnamon, salt, and finally baking soda. Now put the lid back onto the food processor. And now we're going to continuously pulse the food processor to break down all of our bigger seeds and dried fruit, but we don't need it all completely uniform. We can still see small pieces of fruit here and there. Once everything is nicely broken down, we're going to add the wet ingredients. There's our coconut oil, maple syrup, and vanilla extract. Close the lid again and pulse just to combine everything. The mixture is done when you have this kind of wet dough that sticks together if you press it. We're going to bake our Aussie bites in a mini muffin pan. So they don't stick too much, we need to grease the pan. You can either use some cooking spray or just brush it with a little bit of coconut oil like I'm doing here. To divide the batter into even portions, I'm using a 1 tablespoon sized cookie scoop and add 1 scoop per cavity. If you like, you can even out the tops a little bit. They will puff up in the oven just a touch. If you don't have a mini muffin pan, you can also just divide the batter into these tablespoon sized mounds and Place them onto a lined baking sheet and bake them just like that. I usually end up with enough batter to make exactly 24 Aussie bites to fill this entire muffin tin. And now it's time to bake our Aussie bites in a 350-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes until they're golden brown. Right after baking, the Aussie bites will still be a bit fragile, so let them cool in the pan completely before unmolding. Once they've cooled, you can use a small spatula or a butter knife to help with unmolding the Aussie bites. And this is how you make Copycat Aussie bites. Thank you so much for watching and baking along with me. If you try this recipe, please let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. Also, please like and share this video, and I will see you soon with another recipe. Bye for now.